Am I the a-hole for refusing to stop seeing my granddaughter despite my son's wishes? My son, 40, is what people call a ladies' man. I had a problem with it until last year when he got a girl 20 pregnant because he said that rubbers don't work for him, so they had unprotected sessions. When he found out about the baby, he blocked the mom and ghosted her for a month. He came to tell me about it once his baby's mom reached out again, saying that he didn't have to care for the baby, but that he had to pay child support. I was shocked and told him that he could either step up or not, but that I would have a relationship with the child because it is my only grandchild. He chooses to not step up and try to fight child support, but a month ago he was placed on it. Now that my granddaughter Lily is born, I have been helping pay for everything because her mom is in college, and my son quit his job so his payments would go down. I am very disappointed in him. I watch Lily during her mom's classes and pay for her to have a nanny so the mom can work hard to get her degree. Money is no problem for my family, but my son is very angry that I'm helping them out. He says that they should not get my money, and that if the mom needed help, then she should have gotten rid of the baby. I told him that I will continue to help them because my granddaughter is innocent in this, and that he was the one who refused to wear a protection, so they should not have their lives ruined. He said that it is either him or them, and I said that I would always help my granddaughter. He has stopped talking to me, and my daughter said that I went too far, and that I should just cut ties with them. Am I the a-hole for helping them against my son's wishes? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole, but your son is a giant a-hole. He is entitled and selfish, and frankly creepy that at 40 he knocked up a 20-year-old. He needs to grow up. I would disinherit him in a heartbeat. Write a will that cannot be challenged and make sure to get an attestation from a medical professional stating you were sound of mind when the will was drafted. But leave him enough money for a box of rubbers. Wait, he's 40 and she's 20? Have you had a second to digest that truth? Good riddance. Let him be a spoiled, disgusting individual. You are doing the right thing. A 40-year-old who quit his job so the 20-year-old he got pregnant by refusing to wear rubbers gets zero money to raise his child. Makes my stomach hurt reading that. I would give your son zero money from here on out, Opie. Not the a-hole. He said that rubbers don't work for him. Your son is an a-hole, and probably a walking STI vector. When he found out about the baby, he blocked the mom and ghosted her for a month. Seriously, he's just awful. You must be ashamed of him on many levels. You sound like an amazing woman, grandmother, and general person. Bluntly, your son's wishes don't mean anything. Your son's opinions about who cares for his child stopped being relevant a long time ago. I realize he's a grown man and his own master, but he needs to remember that you're a grown woman and your own master. Honestly, I'd be no contact with him over this kind of thing. There's something broken within him. He needs a serious attitude adjustment. Not the a-hole. Not the a-hole for refusing to stop supporting your granddaughter's mother. On the other hand, you do bear some responsibility for raising this absolute sluggard. The fact that Opie admitted to brushing aside his behavior in the past because he is a ladies' man? Only when the behavior became grotesque, Opie realized that son is bad. How many lesser evils has Opie brushed under the carpet in her son's upbringing? Next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for making my daughter sleep in the backyard after what she did to our housemaid? My male 46 daughter 16 is a high school junior. I noticed recently that she's been behaving in a bad manner, constantly commenting on other people's looks, belongings, calling them stuff that isn't cool, and just being insensitive. It's like she lost a filter or something, because usually she's polite. But my wife suspected that our daughter's sudden misbehavior occurred after she started hanging out with the new girls from the school. Basically the mean type and have picked on their behavior. I've sat my daughter and had many discussions about how her behavior has been negatively affecting everyone around her. Our housemaid is the person most affected here, and my daughter has chosen her to be her target for hair/clothes/etiquette criticisms. She has complained about our daughter calling her offensive names, like filthy and gross for cleaning certain areas in our house. I took a stand and explicitly told my daughter I'd punish her if she ever said stuff like that to our housemaid again. Last week my daughter had a party to go to, but earlier that day she called our housemaid filthy, so I grounded her by not letting her go to the party. She threw a fit and called our housemaid a liar, saying she never called her that. That was the end of it. Days later, my daughter came to me saying she couldn't find her iPhone after looking everywhere. She asked me to call her number, and I did. My wife and I were stunned to discover that the iPhone was ringing inside our housemaid's bag. I had a confrontation with the housemaid immediately, and she denied and cried, saying she never touched the phone, nor had any idea how it got there. I noticed my daughter calling her a thief repeatedly, so I told her to stop and go to her room. I checked the indoor camera before continuing the argument, and saw my daughter place her iPhone inside our housemaid's bag. I was livid. I apologized to our housemaid and gave her the rest of the day off. I then showed a video to my daughter and she was absolutely speechless. I said what she did was immoral and straight up offensive to tamper with that poor woman's livelihood over a petty party she couldn't go to. I told her she was grounded and will have to spend the night in the backyard. She's a germaphobe, but she cried begging me to not make her sleep with the dirt, insects, and hot temperature. I refused to discuss it or I'd make it 2 nights. My wife said I should go easy on her, but I said calling people filthy and accusing them of stealing wasn't okay. In fact, it was the absolute worst. I then went through with my punishment. The reason I chose this punishment was because of the fact that my daughter says she is a germaphobe and used this as excuse to insult others' hygiene and appearance. Our backyard has dirt and bugs in it, and this kind of things get her uncomfortable. But other than that, the backyard is 100% safe. Question: why doesn't she clean up and do house chores as punishment instead? Because I've already tried this punishment before and it didn't work. Because she deliberately stopped eating for days to get out of it and ended up in the emergency department for low blood pressure. Not stay home, but you should give your housekeeper a week off with pay and make your daughter take her place, unpaid. This is the appropriate discipline. Go online and print out websites for military boarding schools out of state that take females. Tell her if she doesn't straighten up immediately, there will be consequences. Then call the applications department and put it on speakerphone. Also, make sure she knows the day she turns 18. You don't owe her anything. She better be a good person or she can't support herself. I'd make her do the housemaid's job for 2 weeks, but pay the housemaid for the work. You are not able to come down hard on her though and knock it on the head. This is an excellent punishment. I'd also go with giving her a flip phone for a good long time. Not stay home. Your daughter deserves a DEFCON 1 level punishment. That's some messed up crap she did. That said, I'd probably pick something besides making her sleep in the backyard. Too temporary, too unusual, too easy for her to make herself out to be the victim. It's both too much and not enough. Spend 1 weekend per month of her grounded without phone year picking up trash on the side of the road with her. Yes, you suggested good alternatives. The punishment should be constructive and educational. Picking trash and volunteering is effective. It's unacceptable to falsely accuse the housekeeper of stealing, and she has to endure the appropriate repercussions subsequently. You're the a-hole. Your child has obvious issues if she's willing to starve herself as a tactic. Have you tried therapy? Or anything other than straight punishment? Pete's sake. If she really is a germaphobe, that's a real medical condition. And by forcing her to sleep outside, you are being an emotionally and physically abusive a-hole. And yes, it's physical mistreatment as well. Disgusting. Next story. Am I the a-hole for only paying for a portion of my son's college, even though he had money from his dead brother's college fund? I, female 58, will always be a mother of my twin sons, Thomas and Sam. In the summer after they graduated when they were 18, Thomas passed away. I can't begin to explain how broken I was. At that point, Sam had already accepted an offer to go to an Ivy League school. My husband and I had about $100,000 each saved up for the boys. But Sam's school was so expensive that the money wouldn't cover it. Before Thomas passed, Sam was fine with taking out student loans to cover the rest. Then we lost Thomas. Less than 2 months after it happened, Sam asked if he could have the $100,000 that was set aside for Thomas. I lost it on him, but I told him that it was Thomas's money and not his, and it deserved to go to Thomas. This is where I might have been the a-hole, because Sam could have used that money, but he didn't get a cent of it. To be fair, my husband and I didn't get a cent of it either. We donated it all to various charities against drunk driving in memory of Thomas. That was all about 10 years ago. Sam took out student loans, but he is so young and already a very successful lawyer. I believe he's paid most of the loans off by now, possibly all. If it matters at all, my husband and I contributed a significant amount, about $50,000, to his law school tuition as well. I thought we were past it, but the other day Sam brought up how unfair it was for me to refuse to give him Thomas's money. We had a tearful argument over it, and now I just don't know what to think. If I could do it again, I still don't think I would give that money to Sam. Does that make me an a-hole? Edit. Because some people are confused about the way I worded things, here's a better explanation of the money. We had 2 separate college accounts for the boys. Each account had $100,000 in it. After Thomas passed, Sam still got the $100,000 he always knew he'd get. He just didn't get the additional $100,000 from Thomas's account. We never took money away from Sam. We just didn't give him any extra money that he wouldn't have had if Thomas had been alive. You're the a-hole, although I'm sorry for your loss. Your living son is grieving too. His life was forever affected by his brother's loss. You could have supported him and made it easier by helping him financially, but instead you made it clear that his brother's memory is more of a priority to you. Surely, Thomas would have wanted that money to help his brother. If I was your remaining child, I would have been so heartbroken. If I'm reading this right, they gave him $150,000 already, and they're an a-hole for not making it $250,000? Really? I don't think they are a-holes for not giving the money. It's the way they lashed out at their son that's so awful. They worded it in such a bad manner. That's the a-hole part. Let me ask, if you were reeling from your son's death and the body wasn't even cold and your other son asked for his money, would you feel happy/elated? You're pretty pissed off that your sons, their brothers, funds were more important to the other twin. Mild, you're the a-hole. Look, I get wanting to donate it to different charities. There's nothing wrong with that. But you should not have lashed out at your son like that. Your wording is horrible. You could have said, we want to donate it in Thomas's name, to people who've suffered like he had at the hands of drunk drivers, and that would have been okay. Your son wasn't an a-hole for asking the money, and you were not an a-hole for denying him. But the way you did it was awful. You should sit him down and apologize for the way you reacted back then. You did not need to lose it on him like that. That wasn't a question. I think Opie knows she was the a-hole for doing that, but she's just asking if she's the a-hole for not giving him the money. You're the a-hole. Why would you tell your son that his money deserved to go to his deceased brother? How does that make sense? $100,000 to an anti-drunk driving charity seriously just seems like they threw the money away in my opinion. $100,000 to college is productive. Throwing money to bloated charities that tell people not to do the things they already know not to do just sounds like a waste to me. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for asking my girlfriend not to eat so much? I know the title sounds bad, but this is a pretty specific situation, so please hear me out. I, 26 male, have been dating a woman we will call Ashley, 26 female, for about 3 months. Ashley grew up financially well off and relatively privileged, and it has been a point of friction in our relationship with her not understanding/grasping the level of poverty I, my family, grew up with. It is also relevant to this story that Ashley is a heavier person. It is a very vocal advocate for body positivity, and will very assertively and stand up to anyone shaming herself or others. The other person who is relevant to this story is my grandma, 70. My grandmother is a wonderful woman, but she is both very proud and very broke. She likes to have us over for dinner and is an excellent cook, but financially she can't really afford it. She refuses to take any money from me or anyone else and won't let anyone bring food, saying it's her responsibility to take care of the family. She also takes offense if you turn down the invitation. About a month ago, we had dinner with her and Ashley liked the food so much she went back for second and third large portions. This is not done in my family. We all take a single small portion, as the leftovers are what my grandmother has to eat for the week. So Ashley taking more meant my grandmother didn't eat for the next couple days. After the dinner, I explained this to Ashley, and she was shocked. I tried to bring my grandmother food, but she refused the charity out of pride. My grandmother has invited us to dinner again this weekend. Before we went, I tried to have a discussion with Ashley reiterating my grandmother's financial situation and asking that she try to only take a single smaller portion so my grandmother can have food for the week. I said we could go eat again after the meal if she was still hungry. Ashley got very angry at this and said she will not be shamed for her eating. She will not limit her food, and that no one other than her decides when she's had enough food. She also said I was fat-shaming her. This whole ordeal has highlighted a lot of incompatibility issues, and I don't know if the relationship is going to last, but just want some other opinions on if I'm the a-hole. Am I the a-hole for asking my girlfriend to limit her eating? Edit. A lot of people are asking why I didn't tell my girlfriend before the first meal. To be frank, I didn't think of it. It hadn't occurred to me that someone would go to someone else's house and eat 2 days' worth of food in a sitting. Oh, I was ready with the judgment with the title and first paragraph, but not day home. She could eat before or after. You're not shaming her. She just doesn't care about grandma. That's not a great quality. Agreed. If she doesn't care about an older lady who is being very kind and generous, warning there, then she should at least care that it is an important person to Opie. Additional warning. All the way around, it sounds like it's all about her and nobody else matters in the least. It also sounds like she has some past shaming issues that she's going to take out on people, regardless of what their actual intention was. I agree. It sounds like no matter what Opie says, she's going to see it as shaming. But her world doesn't revolve around Ashley, and she definitely lacks some empathy. This is not about her at all. This is about Opie's grandma. Opie, my grandmother, is also a very proud lady who would not accept money or food. But she would accept a dinner invitation. Would your grandma accept if you invited her to your place or a restaurant to have a nice meal? That way it doesn't have to sound like charity. You could put it as returning the favor and having family time. She's literally taking food out of your grandma's mouth. The fact that she still has an attitude after you explain the situation? She's a massive a-hole. Not stay home. Dump her. Agreed. But also wondering why grandmother is so proud that she would rather not eat than allow her family to help her out. There comes a point where pride borders on stupidity. If your grandmother is so proud, how do you know that she won't eat for the rest of the week? Your grandmother is an adult who chooses to serve a certain amount of food and seems to get a lot of pleasure from feeding her family. It sounds to me like you are simultaneously fat-shaming Ashley. The issue has nothing to do with her weight. Why mention it? And infantilizing your independently living adult grandmother. You're the a-hole, in case that wasn't clear. Read this back to yourself and realize how stupid it sounds.